at 8.
One is the maintenance of Ikotekpene-Itu road in Cross River State, repair and maintenance of Onitsha-Aguleri-Adani road, the general maintenance of Nasarawa Toto Abaji Road, general maintenance of Ukene Adogo Ajaokuta Itobe Road in Kogi State, the construction of Aden Bridge between Okada and Ogbogwe Abangbe Spur to Bini Shagamu Road, general maintenance repairs of Potiskum Fika Ngada Gombe Road.
Similarly, 31.6 billion naira augmentation has also been approved for the completion of Independence Avenue as well as Constitution Avenue, including the cycle road in the Central Business District of Abuja, thereby increasing the total contract sum of the project from 66.8 billion naira to 98.5 billion naira.
It is the contract for Abuja because it's the one that links that huge expanse that we call the Central Business District, spanning from Moshood Abiola Stadium right through to the National Assembly. And on one side of the road is the Constitution Avenue, the other one is the Independence Avenue.
Still for the FCT, the council has given the go-ahead for the procurement of fill materials and chemicals for water treatment by the FCT Water Board at 827 million naira. Two memoranda presented by the Minister of Power, Salim Mamman, were also considered and approved.
One is the revised estimated total cost of the contract of the construction of an infrastructure at the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria permanent site here in Abuja. The total cost is 88.046 million.
The Federal Executive Council also approved the extension of contract time for consultancy services in respect of the management and supervision of the ongoing construction of the Zungeru hydropower project in Niger State at 4.7 billion naira. The next meeting of the Council, Nigeria's highest policy decision-making body, comes up in January 2021. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
To education now. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has conditionally suspended its 9-month strike. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports that President of the Union, Professor Biodun Ogunyemi, who led other National Executive Committee members of the union in a media briefing at the University of Abuja, Gwagwalada, said the suspension, which takes effect from today's midnight, was as a result of resolution reached with the federal government.
We believe that the promises government made to us, government will fulfill. And we have that understanding with government on almost every aspect of our demands. So we held the National Executive Council meeting overnight. Our members said we should give government a chance to actualize its promises. Already we have resolved among ourselves to cancel our annual leaves. We are not going on leave. So we assure them that we are going to put in our best to recover the lost time. We are not going to lose in terms of content and depth.
ASU has been on strike since March this year over demands for more funding for public investors and renegotiation of the 2019 agreement with the federal government. It took the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, 9 months to suspend the strike it embarked upon to press for implementation of agreements reached with the federal government over its demands. Olainka Ojo in this special report takes a look at the effect of strike on the education sector.
Every day makes us unhealthy. It is an established fact that education is the backbone of human civilization and the driver of socio-economic development of all nations. However, the education sector in Nigeria, especially at the tertiary level, has in the last 30 years suffered unprecedented distraction due to unrest and industrial actions. Between 1979 and 1999, crises arising from unpaid teacher salary or allowances, degeneration of facilities, and other issues have led to several work stoppages. The National Universities Commission records shows that from 1992 to date, more than 23 strikes have been embarked upon by unions in tertiary levels, resulting to students spending more years in school.
In every agreement, there is always provision for review. And it is not about fund being available. It is about seeing education as a priority.
Whatever the reason for the incessant long strikes, experts express fear that some students may drop out, while those who complete their education may be half-baked. Abdulsalam Bashir is a 400-level mass communication student from Kwara State University.
Really missed a lot, and we're looking forward in getting back to school.
I have friends that they had to go learn some kind of hand job or something. I'm so happy this strike has been called off.
Parents whose children remain at home for most part of the time are torn between pleading with government and lecturers for their ward to remain at school and acquire education.
Year has been added to my financial burden. At least after Christmas, they can afford to go back to school.
And I appreciate that they also had called out the strike. Then they're having human sympathy for us.
That explains why the news of the call-off of the strike embarked upon since the 23rd of March 2020 is greeted with excitement from all quarters, with the hope that it will be the last time universities will be shut due to industrial action, as the country has recorded one strike too many. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
Now, frustration and hopelessness are now regular words on the lips of passengers of the Abuja-Kaduna standard train service. The constant train breakdown and ticket racketeering experienced are better imagined. With the festive season and the attendant increase in travels, transport correspondent Oinaya Kaluoka, who visited some stations, reports that anxiety is high and questions are being asked.
The train stopped for like 2 hours now.
These are video clips from passengers of the Abuja-Kaduna standard gauge train service. Passengers expressing anger and disappointment at the breakdown of the train.
This is 2 a.m. This is 2 a.m.
It has become a regular occurrence lately for the train to break down at any time of the day.
This is our second time I'm having this experience. 3 weeks ago, I had the same experience. Today again, I'm experiencing the same thing.
I was meant to pick someone, and they arrived around 3 a.m. in the night because of the breakdown.
You don't know the people that are there, whether the bandits can enter that place.
We are giving them Nigeria is bad, Buhari is bad. Meanwhile, we are the ones doing all these things.
With festivity in the air, passengers are expressing fear as they travel to meet their loved ones. Will the train break down? Are they likely to spend the season on the tracks? So many questions for the Nigerian Railway Corporation to answer.
We have sent more experienced technicians to ensure they can understand quicker the new locomotives that came in, and we have also brought the manufacturer into focus that they should, at every point in time, since the locomotive are new and they are still under warranty and they still have a role to play, they should play that role very well.
If you think train breakdown is the only problem at the Abuja-Kaduna train stations, wait until you experience firsthand the pains of tickets have finished announcement, according to passengers. Ticket racketeering is said to be on the increase.
And look at people standing on that sun for more than 3 hours, and at the end they will tell them ticket is finished.
We have been on this queue for some time now. They are not even selling the ticket. I don't know what is happening.
If it is online, everybody will book online. You know you have your ticket. You will not even come here to suffer.
Booking online is truly the solution, and the Nigerian Railway Corporation says it has started test running of electronic ticketing with about 10 passengers.
Then we will have seen your information to log in. Then you go to the pay platform, you choose what you want to pay, you pay, and the ticket will be there. The other has to print or save. You can do any of those and come to the station.
In 2016, Nigeria's first standard gauge rail line was inaugurated to make movement easier for the people. Has this been achieved? Many say this can only be achieved if the rollout of the e-ticketing is successful and passengers can get their tickets just at the click at the comfort of their home. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
Well, thank you so much, Oyinaya. We head to Lagos now. Third Mainland Bridge, Lagos, will be totally shut to traffic for 3 days, beginning from midnight of December 25th. The Federal Controller of Works, Lagos, Olukayode Bokwola, while giving details and reasons for the closure, revealed that traffic will also be diverted on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Dr. Ogunyemi has the details.
The second phase of repair works on the Third Mainland Bridge progresses to meet the February 2021 deadline for completion. Another milestone in the project now requires a total closure, as 3 of the 6 expansion joints have been replaced and require casting to hold it in progress.
Is to prevent vibration while the casting is going on, because if there is vibration, the concrete will be injured and it will not set properly. So the total closure is going to be from midnight of 25th December 2020 and it will last the midnight of 28th December.
We are applying intelligent deployment. We don't need any of our operatives on Third Mainland Bridge within these 3 days if it's totally blocked, especially from Adekunle to Adeniji. So we are going to fortify the deployment of our men along the alternative routes.
The Federal Controller of Works also disclosed plans to close parts of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway as cross beams for an interchange is to be placed on the 28th of December.
The diversion is going to be from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. on 28th. And the same thing will still happen on the 29th. The diversion will be from 6 p.m. in the evening to 5 a.m. of the same on the Monday on 30.
The Federal Road Safety Corps, on its part, disclosed that it has fully deployed its men to man strategic roads as it enjoins motorists to comply with traffic laws and avoid overspeeding. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
Let's now take you to the National Maritime Academy, Oron, Akwa Ibom State, where we hear that the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, has expressed satisfaction over the level of infrastructural renaissance and facility upgrade in the Naval Institute. This was at the 2020 cadet graduation of the Academy, and Susan Asuku reports.
The maritime sector in Nigeria has the potentials of generating great revenue, thereby boosting the nation's economy. It is on this premise that the Maritime Academy of Nigeria, located in Oron, was established in 1979. At the 2020 cadet graduation ceremony of the Academy, Chairman Governing Council of Maritime Academy of Nigeria, Chief Demola Seriki, remarked that as at today, the Maritime Academy of Nigeria, located in Oron, ranks as one of the finest and the best institutions in the world.
Indeed, the visionary leadership of the present administration has changed the narratives of the Academy.
Chairman, Senate Committee on Marine Transport, represented by Senator Akone Yanyi, and representative of the Minister of Transportation, Eno Richard Egbe, noted that maritime education and transportation remain critical to the economic development of the nation, as over 90% of the nation's economy is seaborne.
I'm proud to know that about 90% of the movers and shakers of the Nigerian maritime industry are products of this revered institution. To commend the Governing Council, Director and Management of the Academy for the remarkable transformation.
Director Rector, Maritime Academy of Nigeria, Oron Commodore Duja Efedwa, retired, appreciated the support from stakeholders in the sector.
Simulators will have our water classes. We have the full mission engine room simulator, have the full mission bridge simulator, and the latest of them all, which is the multifunctional classroom.
The graduation ceremony had 253 cadets of diploma and higher national diploma drawn from School of Nautical Sciences, School of Marine Transportation, and School of Engineering. From the Maritime Academy of Nigeria, Oron, Susan Asukwo, NTA News.
And as the countdown to Christmas continues, it is expected that the last-minute rush will invariably bring about a surge in air travel. Michael Olale, who was at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, however, reports that the volume of air traffic is surprisingly low.
The ambience at the domestic wing of the airport is a sharp contrast to the hustling and bustling that usually characterizes the Yuletide season. Activities were at a low ebb, with few passengers busy with the process of checking in and boarding. Although there is an increase in the volume of inbound travelers compared to outbound, the development raises the question of whether or not the recent increase in airfare or the continued adverse effects of COVID-19 pandemic on the hospitality business is responsible for the low patronage of the airlines.
The international economy has not felt well as it is and has trickled down to the pockets of Nigerians. Coupled with the coronavirus of 18, everybody's conscious, life is sweet, and nobody wants to die.
For Olayiwa Lauseni, an engineer, both factors are responsible for the decline in air travel, which he pointed out is now based on official or business obligations rather than for vacation or tourism, which is peculiar to holiday seasons. He also cautioned against flouting COVID-19 safety rules, as the memory of the lockdown is still fresh.
The program I went for was already scheduled, so I had to come. So that's why we're rushing back so that we'll meet up with the lockdown, if there will be any. We pray there won't be, because a lot of us have not recovered.
Meanwhile, there are indications that there will be a surge in traffic before Christmas, and this is why the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has put in place the necessary infrastructure to guarantee safety and security of passengers.
Christmas tends to be coming too soon for the aviation sector to recover, simply because the path to resuscitation of the industry is a process which must start with adherence to COVID-19 protocol, followed by reduction in new COVID-19 cases, and finally, reawakening the confidence of travelers to fly again. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
Families planning to engage in long-distance travels may have their fears of uncertainty allayed. This is because the Federal Road Safety Corps has made provision that would enable travelers seek the services of the Corps to help prevent unprecedented road accidents during the Yuletide. The Corps Marshal FRSC Boboye Oyeyemi revealed this at a media briefing where he updated the public on the level of preparedness of the Corps for the 2020 end-of-the-year special patrol. Oyeyemi Ajayi has the details.
Road Safety Corps reveals that as of today, speed violation has increased by 50% due to some roads being rehabilitated, hence an opportunity for some drivers to overspeed. The Corps reveals that most road crashes recorded during Yuletide seasons in the country involves private vehicles, with 51% caused by overspeeding. As the Yuletide season commences, vehicular and human movement is expected to be high, so this stakeholders meeting is to intimate on plans of the Corps in arresting and prosecuting road traffic offenders accordingly.
This year, the Corps is focused on the specific objective of the following: sustain reduction of road traffic crashes, injuries, and fatalities, ensuring compliance with the guidelines and protocol of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 as prescribed by the National Center for Disease Control, improve on response time to distress calls, and facilitate efficient post-care services.
In the face of the second wave of COVID-19, the court charged motorists to observe the safety precautions in order to curb the further spread of the virus through commuting.
Going forward, we have tasks ahead to ensure the full compliance with safety valves. We are similarly discussing the issue of the heavy-duty vehicles.
We continue to educate our employee, the driver, on their civic responsibility.
A total of 25,224 personnel, including 7,000 officers, 18,124 marshals, and 12,225 special marshals, have been deployed at identified areas across the country, aside vehicles and other equipment distributed to prevent road congestion. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
In another development, the Nigeria police says it has adopted watertight security across major cities in the country to foil any likely breakdown of law and order during the Yuletide. First Public Relations Officer Frank Mba, in an interview with security correspondent Francis Form, says detachment of conventional and mobile officers and men have been deployed to ensure safety of lives and property.
Employing a lot of undercover operatives, particularly because of the current security situations in the country. So Nigerians should expect that apart from the overt deployment, there will also be a lot of covert deployments. These are intelligence operatives that will be working with our counterparts in the DSS and the defense intelligence to ensure that we are able to sniff out information, sniff out intelligence before criminals actually carry out their attacks.
Frank Mba appeals to Nigerians to remain vigilant and raise red alert where suspicious movements and abuse of laws are observed. President Muhammadu Buhari has saluted the kingmakers of Bachama Kingdom and the Adamawa State government for the wise choice of Dr. Daniel Ismaila Shaga, considering the outstanding experience and qualifications of the eminent accountant. The president felicitates with His Royal Majesty Dr. Daniel Ismaila Shaga, urging the new monarch to build on the worthy legacies of peace, unity, and development of his predecessors. The president recommends Dr. Shaga's commitment to excellence, probity, and accountability to people of his domain in particular and all Nigerians in general. President Buhari notes that following the retirement of Dr. Shaga as Assistant Commander General of Narcotics from the National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in 1994, he devoted his time and energy not only to private practice, but more remarkably evangelism, community service, and humanitarian endeavors. He wishes the 29th Hama Bachama a successful reign and divine protection. Similarly, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Bas Mustafa, congratulates the Hama Bachama on his official coronation and presentation of first-class staff of office. The SGF is convinced that the new Hama Bachama is well positioned to consolidate on the solid foundation laid by his predecessor, praying that the Bachama Kingdom will witness phenomenal socio-cultural regeneration and economic prosperity. Bas Mustafa also praised that his reign will be long and for the good of all Nigerians. He wishes him God's guidance and a peaceful reign. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has sent his felicitations to wife of the Minister of Transportation, Dame Judith Amechi, as she turns 50, December 24, 2020. The president lauds the former First Lady of Rivers State for being an entrepreneur, strong mobilizer of women, and a strong pillar of support for her husband, former Governor of Rivers State, Chairman Governors Forum, and now two-term Minister of Transportation. President Buhari submits that without the robust domestic support provided by Dame Judith, the Amechi personality may not have loomed as large as it does today on the nation's political landscape. He wishes Mrs. Amechi greater successes in her endeavors as wife, mother, praying for long life and fulfillment on all fronts. And we'll take our first break on News Extra. Please stay.
In this earth, we grow champions. In this earth, greatness takes root. Here, talent flourishes and passion ignites. Here, dreams, they come alive. We know football and life, they are the same. You get the ball, you run with the ball. People try to take the ball from you, don't let them. Keep your eyes on the ball. Don't lose sight of the goal. And when it's time, take the shot. Life is football. You must take your shot.
Great supporters of football. Glow Unlimited.
Make this Christmas special with family, friends, and Terra. Merry Christmas and season's greetings. This Christmas, share joy, happiness, and stay safe with Corson. Merry Christmas and season's greetings.
The holidays are upon us again. The petroleum tanker drivers of New Bank, in collaboration with the Federal Road Safety Corps, joyfully congratulates all Christian faithfuls this Christmas period. It is a season for us to share love with friends and family. As you travel, please remember that the coronavirus is still out there. Wear your face mask in public places. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water for at least 60 seconds. Do not touch your eyes, nose, and mouth, and maintain physical distance of at least 2 meters. The safety of all travelers is our priority. Do not drink and drive. Use your seat belts while driving. Do not drive on worn-out tires. Obey all traffic rules and regulations, and make sure that your vehicle is in roadworthy condition. Consideration for other road users is everyone's responsibility. Remember, your life is precious to your loved ones and the nation. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This message is from the petroleum tanker drivers of New Bank. Comrade Salmon Akoni Oladiti, Chairman, New Bank PTD, announcer.
Shola, come and help me. You need to learn.
But I'm more interested in drawing.
How are you going to be part of the business if you don't learn?
You just don't understand.
Morning. Anyone for some Lipton?
The rich taste of Lipton awakens body and mind.
Let me have a look at your drawings. Son, these designs are amazing.
Lipton Yellow Label Tea. Awaken to what really matters.
The Honorable Minister of Education, Malam Adamu hereby invites interested and qualified Nigerians to participate in the 2020-2021 nomination computer-based test (CBT) for the Federal Scholarship Award tenable in Nigerian Public Tertiary Institutions. The 2020-2021 FSB CBT will hold in the following venues across the 6 geopolitical zones. Qualified candidates are advised to choose CBT center close to them. The registration portal will be open from 14th December 2020 to 24th January 2021. For further inquiries, visit www.education.gov.ng or fsb@education.gov.ng. Telephone 08077884418, 08091155229. Architect Sonny Echono, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Education, announcer.
There are no small beginnings, only stepping stones to bigger things. That's our philosophy at Premium Pension. And so no matter the size of your money, our team of expert fund managers invested wisely and actively to make sure your money is always working as hard as you do. After all, the things we're building today can help shape your future in the long run. And with the right partner by your side, the one thing you're sure to do is soar. Premium Pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, on behalf of officers, airmen and airwomen of the Nigerian Air Force, wishes to inform the general public of the induction ceremony of newly acquired Mi-171E helicopter, which will take place on Thursday, 24th December 2020 at the Nigerian Air Force Base, Kaduna, at 11 a.m. The special guest of honor, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, Grand Commander,
of the Federal Republic will officially perform the induction of the aircraft into the inventory of the Nigerian Air Force virtually. The event will also feature the handover of an L-39ZA, which was recently reactivated through in-country maintenance. Interested members of the public are invited to watch the event live on NTA, TVC, as well as on all Nigerian Air Force social media handles. Nigerian Air Force. Willing, able, ready.
Imagine the joy that fills your heart when you have just given birth. Whatever your size, we got you.
Follow the grandmother.
Mama, baby. With our Buy Right chat, you can get the best mattress that goes with your body weight. Don't just buy a mattress, buy a Vitafoam mattress.
The name of the baby is Stella.
Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. The Nigeria Governors Forum is committed to working with the federal government and security agencies to tackle the prevailing security challenges facing communities in the northwest region of the country. The chairman of the forum and governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, stated this while speaking to newsmen after a solidarity visit to Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State. Awal Haliru has that.
Chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum was accompanied on the solidarity visit by Chairman Progressive Governors Forum and Governor of Kebbi State Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, as well as governors of Sokoto and Jigawa State. The forum sympathized with government and people of Katsina State over the unfortunate incident and recent development of release of students of Government Science Secondary School, Kankara. The Nigeria Governors Forum expressed concern over the security challenges bedeviling some parts of the country.
With concerted efforts on our part as governors and the commitment of the federal government and the professional conduct of our security services and our social investment program intensified, we shall see the end of this criminality, this brigandage in our state.
He reassured that the governors would continue to ensure lasting peace, progress, and development of the country. In Katsina, Awal Haliru.
NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, says the Force High Command has reorganized its tactical units in Katsina to end criminality and ensure effective policing in the state. The Inspector General of Police, who made this known while speaking to newsmen on a tour to Katsina State, sister agencies, the Miyetti Allah Association, and the general public have a stake in making Katsina a safe place. And Mohammed Salis Awal completes the report.
A visit of the Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, to Katsina was informed by the recurring security challenges affecting some parts of the state. The Inspector General of Police says the force has re-strategized its operation in Katsina to bring to an end all forms of criminality in the state, to enable law-abiding citizens go about their normal activities without fear.
Recently, we are aware of what happened when some students of Kankara Government Science Secondary School were kidnapped. It was an unfortunate situation, and we have resolved that we should never allow such a thing to happen again in this state.
He, however, reminded the public that security of lives and property is a collective responsibility of all and sundry, calling on the public to always provide useful information to the police, as such information would be treated with confidentiality. Inspector General of Police later held a closed-door meeting with stakeholders, including representatives of Miyetti Allah Association, with a view to find a lasting solution to the security challenges bedeviling some parts of Katsina State. In Katsina, Muhammad Salis Awal, NTA News.
And ahead of the delivery of Super Tucano aircraft to Nigeria, facilities at the 407 Air Combat Training Ground, Kainji, have been upgraded. Haruna Mohammed reports that the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, inaugurated the facilities and gave the assurance that the aircraft will touch down at the Air Combat Training Ground by the second quarter of 2021.
47 Aircraft Training Ground Kanji is one of the Air Force's pride, and as it prepares to receive some prized air assets, it is also receiving facelift. New blocks of residential accommodation have been provided with 1.3-kilometer road reconstructed. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, was on point concerning the delivery of the Tucano aircraft.
The base is being positioned to receive and efficiently support the A-29 Super Tucano aircraft, which is expected to arrive the country towards the second quarter of 2021. Hence, all efforts are geared towards ensuring that necessary infrastructure are put in place in due time so that when the aircraft finally arrives, we'll have a base that is really prepared to receive it.
Nigerian Air Force is mobilizing all assets, all skills, all its personnel to ensure the security of Nigerians and of the Nigerian airspace.
The arrival of aircraft Super Tucano is expected to boost counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency operations of the armed forces in Nigeria. From Kanji, I'm Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Of the national response against COVID-19, Nigeria has escalated its network of treatment and isolation centers nationwide to 112 with 5,324 bed spaces. However, as the number of confirmed cases continues to rise in the country, Hakimat Aliu takes a look at the situation in the nation's capital and the availability of facilities to meet the spike in cases. Over to you, Hakimat.
All it takes to end coronavirus is proper hand washing, maintaining good respiratory hygiene, and wearing our masks properly.
With the disregard for this, however, the cases are rising. After witnessing an appreciable reduction in cases of the infection from high peaks dropping to as low as between 20 to 30 cases recorded nationwide, the country is once again experiencing a spike. FCT, which is trailing behind Lagos, on December 22nd topped the chart, recording as high as 416 cases and over 200 to 300 new infections daily in recent times.
We have not closed any center, COVID treatment center in the FCT. Of course, we reverted two of our facilities that we quickly fixed before we got the proper centers back to the normal hospital setting, because you are aware, we are not only taking care of COVID patients, we are taking care of other patients. So closing a Soko hospital has gave us a very, very serious stress on the other patients. And so a lot of patients needed admission, so we had to quickly revert.
The upsurge in cases is no doubt taking a toll on the available isolation and treatment centers, as confirmed by Dr. Moloku Victor of this Day Dome facility and the CMD University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Gwagwalada, Professor Bisala Ekale.
Our biggest challenge as we speak now is oxygen. Since most of the patients are in oxygen, the demand has exceeded supply. So we are relying on neighboring hospitals to support us with oxygen.
I'm here at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Gwagwalada, at the Level 3 Isolation Treatment Center, where most of the severe cases are being referred. It is 40-bedded, with all presently occupied.
So many people out there still believe that COVID-19 is not real, but for those of us working in the facility, we see people coming in every day. So we know how real it is in Nigeria.
While vaccines are being sought after, authorities maintain it is imperative that strict adherence to COVID-19 preventive guidelines must continue in order to win the fight against the virus. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
Now, the second wave of the coronavirus pandemic in Nigeria is of major concern to governments at all levels. To manage the situation, the authorities have commenced implementation and enforcement of more restrictions. Hingirajan Adams reports.
The drop in cases of COVID-19 in August and September came as a huge relief to most Nigerians. People were optimistic that life would gradually return to normal. However, ignoring new safety habits and lifestyle not only crumbled previous efforts at curbing the spread of COVID-19, it complicated things. The result is a second wave.
If you are prepared for the second wave back then, perhaps the second wave wouldn't come. So we therefore have to step up preparedness.
Nigerians need to be reminded that COVID-19 is still with us.
We don't want lockdown. We will use hand sanitizer and face masks to cover our nose.
Of every 100 COVID-19 tests performed in Lagos at present, 10 are positive. This is an increase from the 5 per 100 cases recorded in September. Now that the country is battling a second wave, government has ordered the reopening of isolation centers.
We should go back to the NPIs, the use of face masks. People who use it sometimes oftentimes put it on the chin rather than putting it to cover the face and the mouth.
The state government is also ramping up testing, surpassing 3,000 tests a day. So far, Lagos has carried out more than 200,000 tests with over 26,000 positive cases recorded. The state alone accounts for 25% of the total number of tests nationwide.
With regard to understanding of the disease symptomatology, we are better informed. Diagnostic capacity, we are better capable.
With the festive period just around the corner, it is expected that Nigerians will strictly observe preventive protocols to keep the killer disease at bay.
Thank you so much, Hingino. When COVID-19 struck in February this year, it came with devastating spillover effect that led to readjustment of priorities by government and its organs. This was typical of Nigerian Senate, where most of its interventions were COVID-19 sensitive. However, within this period, it has passed 25 bills. And this report, Ignatius Umport, takes a look at the role of the Senate in 2020 as it swam through the murky waters of the pandemic.
Being a period of caution and parliamentary ambivalence in the National Assembly, occasioned by COVID-19, just when the Senate was getting set to embark on parliamentary oversight of the 2019 budget implementation, the coronavirus struck, parliamentary sittings and priorities changed, activating the caution mode. On March 19th, it suspended public hearings and closed its gallery to visitors and subsequently went on recess.
The Senate gallery will remain closed to the public till further notice.
In the early weeks of 2020, issues of national security had dominated parliamentary proceedings at the Senate through motions and counter-motions. This abruptly gave way for interventions against the unwanted visitor, COVID-19. Attention was now divided between the consistent calls for more equipped Nigerian soldiers and overhaul of its hierarchy to calls for more protective equipment for frontline health workers and observance to COVID-19 safety protocols. One of the first interventions by the Senate was the review of the 2020 budget and approval of 500 billion naira stimulus package, which includes hazard allowance for health workers.
If we had not done that, it will have been an economic crisis for the country.
The cordiality between the two arms of government continued with repeated engagements on measures to contain the pandemic with the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Aviation Workers Union, Ministers of Finance and that of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. In spite of COVID-19 challenges, which also took the life of one of its former colleagues, Adebayo Oshinowo from Lagos State, the Senate is wrapping the year with the passage of 25 bills and 112 motions. 2021 Appropriation Bill, Finance Bill 2020, the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act Amendment Bill 2020, 3 police reform bills, Transport Commission, life imprisonment for kidnapping, sexual harassment and the mental health and substance abuse bills were among the ones passed. It confirmed more than 60 presidential appointees, including that of the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, conclusively conducted an investigation into alleged financial misappropriations in the Niger Delta Development Commission. At the heat of the NSAS protest in parts of the country, Senate on October 20th intervened through a motion which called for cessation of protest, as it also urged government to address their demands. And with 2021 in sight, Nigerians expect the passage of vital bills like the Petroleum Industry Bill and the various constitutional amendment bills. Ignatius Nkwo.
Nigeria's House of Representatives take pride of being the largest body of representative democracy. This comes with huge responsibility, though. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on how the House provided value leadership in 2020 to ensure Nigeria remains afloat as the global health crisis persists.
Faced with economic uncertainties as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, Nigeria had to reset her priorities. The government sought the amendments of the 2020 appropriation bill, which the House passed in record time. The 360 House members also went a step further by contributing their salaries for 2 months to the COVID-19 intervention fund.
We acted to slow the spread of disease, to treat the sick, comfort the afflicted, and provide for the most vulnerable in our nation's citizens.
In exercising its legislative powers effectively to tackle the issue at hand, the House introduced the Emergency Economic Stimulus Bill and the Infectious Diseases Bill towards mitigating the impact of the health crisis.
It is now at the committee level. The committee has now created room and window, as usual, for every component of Nigerian people to come and also contribute. Where Nigerians or some sections of Nigerians are not comfortable with the provisions of the law, fine. It doesn't mean that we will always be right.
In tune with reality, the House of Representatives rejigged its legislative agenda and set up the ad hoc committee on COVID-19 to provide legislative support to the containment efforts. Well before the NSAS protests, the House, having been in touch with constituents, introduced and passed the police reform bill, which was assented to by the President.
We cannot escape the hard truth that this has been a tough year of suffering for too many citizens, a year like none before. If we learned nothing else, we learned that we have a limited window to address problems that have been a long time in the making.
Its attempt at unraveling alleged infractions as the Niger Delta Development Commission witnessed a dramatic turn of events when the then acting MD slumped at the investigative hearing. The leadership of the House embarked on legislative diplomacy in Ghana in response to the appeals of Nigerian traders there. Despite the turbulence of 2020, the House was determined in sticking to the January to December budget cycle as it passed the 2021 budget in the run-up to Christmas.
We have worked with the federal government, ministries, departments, and agencies to set priorities. We reached out to stakeholders and citizens groups. We liaised with constituencies or with constituents to understand their expectations and reflect their expectations, those expectations in our consideration of the appropriation bill.
Lami Ali, NTA News.
And the second wave of COVID-19 is strengthening stakeholders' commitment towards mitigating the spread of the virus and reducing pressure on health facilities across the country. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that guests on NTA's Current Affairs program Tuesday Live are raising concerns on effective framework to manage impacts of the vicious disease.
COVID-19 second wave is spreading fast and gradually returning most countries of the world to another phase of lockdown to contain the upsurge of infection and casualties recorded in the last few weeks. Guest on NTA Current Affairs program Tuesday Live say Nigeria's recent case profile of COVID-19 infection clearly demonstrates the low level of compliance with COVID-19 safety protocols and low testing by citizens to ascertain status of the virus.
The second wave at the moment looks like it's going to be very different to what we had in March, April. Already we're seeing an increased number of admissions into our treatment centers. People are presenting very sick. Unfortunately, some have died.
If you have a flu virus that has caused an epidemic or pandemic this year, by next or second year, it might not be the same virus again. It keeps changing and changing. So we hope we don't end up with that type of virus. But unfortunately, we're already seeing evidence that this virus has the potential to change.
Experts commended federal government and multilateral actors for sustaining interventions in the area of molecular testing centers and non-pharmaceutical equipment.
You need to use the face mask. The face mask is a barrier between you, yourself, and the other person and the droplets. The third thing is to ensure physical distance between people. If we are able to do these three first initially, to some large extent we'll be able to control this pandemic.
I call for a national nutritional supplementation policy. We've done that in case of goiter. That's why you have iodine that has to be added to the salt. Then we have cases of vitamin A fortification. We should come up with vitamin D and then vitamin C and a lot of other micronutrients that play key roles in immunological enhancement.
As statistics of patients in the second wave rises, stakeholders appealed to Nigerians to avoid social gatherings, observe safety protocols, and assess health facilities when symptoms are noticed in order to flatten the curve of the virus. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
When we return from this break, we are about to take a community rolls out the drums as custodians of a gas plant that is to open a new vista. Plus, happenings around the national identity number in some locations. See you in a jiffy.
Is one that has class. And did I pass my neighbor? Don't be a joy killer. There is the right gadget for every moment. Redmi Note 9 Pro. Upgrade your life. Powered by Xiaomi.
Dreams come true this Christmas.
always remember,
this man I really like it.
You deserve a break. Even in the hustle and bustle of the day, you can indulge in a cup of 3-in-1 Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Indulge. You deserve a break.
Introducing evaporated milk that contains all the nourishment of milk, including high calcium, 7B vitamins, vitamin D3, phosphorus, magnesium, and 50% less fat. It comes in 3-pack sizes, and the 60-gram pack is only 50 naira.
Hollandia Slim Evaporated Milk. All the nourishment of milk. 50% less fat.
Make this Christmas special with family, friends, and Terra. Merry Christmas and season's greetings. This Christmas, share joy, happiness, and stay safe with Corson. Merry Christmas and season's greetings.
We congratulate you for progress on your journey. Now, Nigeria's #1 choice of mothers have Molfix Air Dry. Thanks to its ultra absorbency and breathability, Molfix has the dryness all the mothers dream of. So the babies will not experience any rash. Babies are always comfortable. Mothers are too, because they don't need to worry about ventilation. Thanks to Molfix Air Dry. Now, babies and mothers enjoy the ultimate peace. Come and join the mothers who experience Molfix Air Dry.
The new Lifebuoy hand sanitizers with 70% alcohol will kill 99.9% of germs. Now available in convenient packs. Let us all take responsibility to fight this pandemic together.
Welcome to your online ballroom dance lesson.
Nobody's perfect, but some are unstoppable. Power Horse, unstoppable you.
After a 7-goal demolition at the hands of the champions last time out, will Crystal Palace enjoy a Merry Christmas when they visit Villa Park? This Saturday, it's Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace on the Premier League Live, showing on the NTA network from 3:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Dabaijebu, Lipton, and Close Up, in association with Goal.com.
Great to have you back on News Extra. The inauguration of Orido Integrated Gas Handling Facility and Liquefied Petroleum Gas Processing and Dispensing Plants just days to the end of the year 2020, experts say is quite timely. The gesture, they emphasize, is an indication of President Muhammadu Buhari's genuine determination to deliver on his promises, even in the face of daunting challenges. Lydia Sampson reports.
This undiluted joy is no doubt born out of the conviction that the gas handling facility sited in their community is coming with windows of opportunities. These opportunities are expected to empower them through employment and gainful means of livelihood. The sentiments are also shared by key players.
In the period of COVID, we are able to complete this project and launch this project. This will open up the LPG market for the domestic market, and I think this is a remarkable enabler for economic development.
This flow station gives us the opportunity, Nigerians opportunity, to have alternative energy.
Well, gas is more important even than crude oil, all over the world, not only in Nigeria. So this is a great feat.
Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, commended NNPC for spearheading the elimination of gas flaring and increasing Nigeria's value realization from her huge gas endowments.
The administration of President Muhammadu Buhari has made unprecedented strides in the area of gas infrastructure development that will facilitate exploitation and monetization of Nigeria's massive gas resources.
For Mele Kyari, GMD NNPC, it is all about government's resolve towards growing its participation in the LPG value chain to boost domestic supply, lower prices, and deepen LPG penetration.
Everyone listening to me may be surprised or may be astonished to know that this project was designed, constructed, and delivered with the highest application of Nigerian content for the critical projects of this magnitude. And indeed, our contractor is wholly Nigerian contractor. This demonstrates, Mr. President, the capability of Nigerians in handling technologically complex projects while reducing pressure on nations' constrained foreign exchange resources.
Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki, on behalf of the people of Edo State, committed to peace and to enable the facility operate for the good of Nigerians.
The Edo State government, the Edo people, and I'm sure the people of Ologbo have decided to embrace Nigeria's gas policy.
Through the integrated gas handling facility of the MPDC, Nigeria is expected to have more gas to generate power. And considering that upgrades in electricity is synonymous with boost in economic activities, many here are optimistic that indeed this gas facility will be a game changer. From Ologbo in Edo State, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
In another development, the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission has commended the Mele Kyari-led management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, for what it describes as its openness and sustained progress towards accountability and meeting of its obligations to the Federation in spite of the challenges posed by the coronavirus pandemic. Lydia Sampson again has that.
Chairman of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Elias Mbam, gave the commendation during a visit by the Group Managing Director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, to the organization. The purpose of the meeting is for both organizations to share information, look at challenges, and provide solutions that will enable the oil and gas sector yield more revenue to the Federation account.
We have had a lot of challenges this year, from COVID to NSAS, and so on and so forth. And I'm happy that despite all these challenges, they are still able to meet most of their expectations from their sector.
On his part, NNPC boss said there was need for NNPC and Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission with other relevant government institutions to work together to tackle challenges facing the nation's oil and gas industry with a view to boosting revenue from the sector. Mele Kyari said the unprecedented successes recorded by the NNPC were as a result of the trust and confidence reposed on the current management of the corporation by the federal government.
Despite all the information that you see in the media, but the reality is that oil will continue to be relevant in the scheme of things. But no country, including our own, can survive the next 20 to 30 years of oil production if you don't produce oil at the least cost.
He reiterated that NNPC hit 2.4 million barrels per day production level in April this year, a feat which has not been achieved in the last 10 years. He disclosed that the current global reality of energy transition has proved gas resources to be more viable as a revenue earner for the nation. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
Now, you may have noticed crowd around offices of the National Identity Management Commission in recent days. Why is this so, and what is being done about it? Victor Azu was at the NIMC headquarters to find out.
This is a new face of most National Identity Management Commission NIMC offices across the country since the federal government ordered telecommunications companies to disconnect all phone lines not identified with a national identity number NIN. The crowd here at the Commission's headquarters wouldn't even allow the NTA crew access through the main gate.
For these ones right here behind me, the desperation to keep their lines open and working supersedes fear of contracting the unrelenting COVID-19.
The crowd is too much. The federal government is supposed to look into it. For the past 3 years, I've enrolled for the national ID, and tonight has not come out.
At the back gate, we met a smaller crowd, but the complaints remained.
They asked us to follow line, but they now open another door at the back, collecting people, which people are gathering there more than 6 hours.
We then went up to get an explanation. It would seem that previous deadlines for NIN registration were not heeded, hence the crowds.
The first group of people is me and you that already have NIN, and then we have multiple SIMs. We should take care of these things. You don't need to panic, you don't need to do anything. But if you have SIM and you don't have NIN, then that is where we have problems that you need to be registered. And those are the people that you have seen.
The NIMC DG, however, promises that there will be more centers to aid registration in the new year.
The 3-week extension notwithstanding, it's only a matter of time before that also elapses. For now, Nigerians need to be more interested, and those who are saddled with the responsibility of getting these connections done need to be more proactive. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Well, thank you so much, Victor, for that findings and answers. Now, what job will you not take as a woman? If I am to answer that, I would say driving. I don't like driving. Find out the interesting developments that has seen more women taking up male-dominated jobs. I tell you, it's worth finding out. So, stay with us.
House. We may look alike, but we are very different individuals. My adorable twins, they look so alike, but they don't like wearing the same things. And my little man, I had to find out the hard way because I've been trying to teach him my way. He loves to learn his own way because doing things his way is more fulfilling. Everybody believes their way is best. That's why Golden Penny Pasta is our favorite meal because due to its non-stickiness, it allows me to satisfy everybody just the way they want it.
Golden Penny Pasta, made with durum wheat, is tasty, nutritious, a source of protein and fiber, and non-sticky, so you can cook, serve, and eat your pasta just the way you like it. Go on and enjoy your Golden Penny Pasta the way you want it. With Golden Penny Pasta, your way is best.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
That match was crazy.
Okpeo, I won! 1 million naira, don't buy it.
Wow! I told you, bro. Honorable promo, don't baggy. It's real.
Tunde, what baggy?
Hey, my girl. Swale Babami.
David, what baggy?
Honorable.
And my darling Joy.
Yes, baby.
What baggy?
You could become the next millionaire in the honorable promo. Talk by ye. To enter, look under the crown cork of your bottle for a code. Then dial *8011 your code to enter for weekly draws where you could win free airtime and cash from 5,000 naira to 1 million naira. Honorable promo. Talk by ye.
After a 7-goal demolition at the hands of the champions last time out, will Crystal Palace enjoy a Merry Christmas when they visit Villa Park? This Saturday, it's Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace on the Premier League Live, showing on the NTA network from 3:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Dabai Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up, in association with Goal.com.
You're welcome. What better way to say though gone but not abandoned or forgotten? This comes across as the Nigerian Air Force Officers' Wives Association, NAFOA, inaugurated Little Angels School at NAF Base, Bauchi, for the training of the children and dependents of gallant officers. Muazu Hassan reports that the school will provide academic and non-academic training to the children.
The Nigerian Air Force Officers' Wife Association NAPOA Little Angel School, Bauchi, which is housing head teachers and staff offices, 5 classrooms, sick bay, changing room, computer room, toilet facility, and beautiful landscape, is built within 9 weeks.
School is furnished with modern learning tools, and we indeed look forward to having children from this school to make us proud parents.
in the near future.
NAPOA National President Hafsat Sadiq Baba Abubakar, who commissioned the school, says education is a great passion of the association and provision of qualitative education to children and dependents of the officers remain its priority.
Committed to providing quality education to children in a safe and secure environment, and we do all this in service to humanity. The addition of another NAPOA Little Angel School in Northwest Bauchi is indeed another beautiful feather in our cap.
The association appreciated the support of the Special Operations Command in actualization of the project. In Bauchi, Moaz Hassan, NTA News.
Well done, NAPOA. The federal government has continued to evolve a robust and sustainable development plan that will reduce poverty and unemployment among Nigerian youths before the end of year 2023. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, stated this at the graduation ceremony of 1,000 youths trained on various skills acquisition in Kano to be economically viable. Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
These are the latest youth about to bid farewell to poverty and unemployment, courtesy of the numerous empowerment programs in the country. For 6 months, these 600 participants from Nasarawa local government area of Kano State were exposed to GSM cell phone repairs, maintenance, software and hardware specialization. They are expected to replicate the new techniques acquired to generate employment and income in their various communities. The aspiration of beneficiary like Suleiman Salisu, a physically challenged, has been rekindled in the hope of achieving a brighter future.
Something that is very, very important and what can empower especially we youth for the future.
Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, says the commitment of the Buhari-led administration to lift youth out of poverty and unemployment remain unwavering.
We must create an enabling environment for smartphone assembly plants to be established in Nigeria.
Before their graduation, we were making money. As you can hear from the testimonies, some said they were making 5,000 to 6,000 naira every day when they go out. This is what we want. We need to keep the youths busy.
As cooperatives, you'll be given stipends during the training phase and also during the apprenticeship phase.
We create databases that provide, all necessary contacts that they will need in order to survive in the industry.
The impact is expected to be immediate as the beneficiaries were given startup grants and stores to commence business in earnest. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The federal government and Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Company have entered into a memorandum of understanding aimed at commercializing automobile research results and prototypes at the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, to finished products. This is part of the renewed efforts of the Buhari administration towards conversion of all research results and innovations and technology into products. Science correspondent Kiri Omaya reports that Executive Vice Chairman NASENI, Professor Mohammed Haruna, signed on behalf of the federal government, while Chairman of Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Company, Chief Innocent Chukuma, signed for his company.
Memorandum of Understanding between Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Company and the federal government through NASENI has been described as apt at this period when the government is promoting local content in all production subsectors. NASENI had designed and produced prototypes of first made in Nigeria tricycle, Keke NASENI, both passenger and cargo types, jet engine for aircraft, and various types of molds required by vehicle manufacturing companies. Executive Vice Chairman of NASENI, Professor Mohammed Haruna, said that the agreement with Innocent to commercialize automobile research results is in fulfillment of NASENI's mandate. He noted that Chairman of the Board of NASENI, President Muhammadu Buhari, is supportive of the gesture and commended Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Company for accepting to work with NASENI.
This collaboration is to ensure that research and development
activities that Naseni is doing. It has a commercial and industrial complex that will actually mass produce this to the market. Not only there are certain spare parts and components that is needed in the industry, they should be busy doing the largest manufacturing.
Chairman of Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Company, Chief Innocent Chukuma, expressed his desire to work with Naseni, which he described as result-oriented, research-based agency with quality results that can catapult the nation to the next level of automobile manufacturing.
Those things they developed, because of they are not into the market, they cannot be able to make up the utilization very well. So, but today we are partnering together. Number one, they have a design of cargo tricycle that people are importing from overseas. And they have a design, local design, which suit to what we need. We can use it, develop it. It looks like the one they import from overseas. Our own is even better.
The partnership between the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, and Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Company is very important because it is part of NASENI's mandate to seed technology to the private sector for onward commercialization and, of course, the development of the manufacturing sector and, by extension, the economy. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
Sure, we can't wait to see the conversion of all research results and innovation technology into products. In the past, it would have been a super story to sight a woman on top of a roof, hitting nails to woods. But these days, nothing seems to be beyond women as they continue to build capacity in all fields of endeavor. Momsode Menlati was at the graduation of another group of women who, after weeks of training by the National Center for Women Development, are ready to storm various states across the country to begin jobs that were hitherto the exclusive preserve for men.
It is often said that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. These women have just begun.
I'm going back now to our Kebbi State and starting my work, putting tilings for house. Don't tell the woman, say, na me woman I can do.
To wealth creation and economic independence. The unique story about them, however, is that they will not be engaged in the familiar women jobs. For them, it is either tiling and masonry, plumbing and pipe fitting, to plant and generator mechanics, or refrigerator and air conditioning repairs, and even POP making or electrical fittings. Having undergone several weeks of intellectual, physical, medical and psychological training, they are now prepared to invade and possibly take over these male-dominated jobs.
Sewing, the men have taken over. Everything, pedicure, everything the women do, they've taken over. So what do? Do we just sit down at home to say, oh, we are women, we cannot? Then it is very important for us to step up into that trade and take everything. And ensure that we are in charge of the construction industry. And I'm so proud because they are doing very well. We have trained over 1,000. They are practicing their trade. You need to see them on site. Like in our area, especially in the north where you have Bashiga, then there is no problem for you again. A woman can just step in to work in your house.
27-year-old physically challenged Felicity is here from Benue State to prove a point.
It's my certificate and my starter pack telling the world that there's ability in disability. So many people have forgotten that people like disabled are not existing, but at least for her, she knows that they have people like this in the society to empower.
Others with diverse degrees of physical challenges are equally here.
Yes, it's my grandson. It's like this is the first time disabled are joining them in this program.
With some pregnant.
Knowing I was pregnant, everyone was just like, can you do it, can you do it? But I proved them wrong. Electrical installation.
Others nursing babies. In fact, even older women are involved, and all from different states.
So for the men, get ready for a tough competition. Momso Damien Nati, NTA News.
I sure know they are ready. Let's join Tamara Ebiwe on Sports Update.
Welcome
Welcome to Sports Updates. I am Tamara Ebiwe. We begin with tennis, where the 3-day Oyo State Tennis Championship is set for its grand finale at the Ibadan Recreation Club on Thursday, with 112 participants contesting for honors in junior, intermediate, and senior categories. Lanre Gbeleyi reports that Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, who served off the championship, says the maiden edition will be used to further develop tennis at the grassroots and discover talents.
So it's one of our talents, and we do hope we will support him.
To football now. Enyimba International lost 3-0 to El Merreikh of Sudan in the CAF Champions League first leg tie. Enyimba will have to overturn the 3-0 deficit in Aba in the return leg. Rivers United defeated Bloemfontein Celtic of South Africa by 2 away goals in the CAF Confederation Cup. Still on football, Argentina and FC Barcelona legend Lionel Messi has been receiving plaudits after scoring his 644 club career goal to overtake the previous record of 643 goals set by Pelé for Santos between 1956 and 1974. The 33-year-old inspired FC Barcelona to a 3-0 victory at Real Valladolid on Tuesday to add to his vast collection of honors, including 10 La Liga and 4 Champions League titles and 6 Ballon d'Or awards, among others. And that's it on Sports Update. I am Tamara Ebiwe. Thanks for watching.
Sure, let's stand against rape and rapists. And with that, we conclude News Extra for tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I am Fatima Omarbuba. Enjoy the rest of your night.